you so much. Thank you for the invitation. I want to salute those who remained in the hall. Extremely brave of you. I think you are all familiar with all those products that came from Israel inventions. And I will try to show you. Can I have a help with the mouse? The GI endoscopy is following what cardiology, or our colleagues in cardiology did to the thoracic surgeons. Now, why Israel is so innovative? What's so unique? Why are we considered the startup nations? So, first of all, the ecosystem of the Israel economics. 4% of the GPD in Israel is spent on R&D, which make us the second in the OECD for over 10 years. And we only second the Silicon Valley in the number of applications of the high-tech companies, and 5% of all the applications to the FDA comes from Israel. But please do remember that Israel population is only 9 million. So what makes us so special? We have 24 incubators that are generating more than 200 new companies per year in all the fields that you can only imagine, be it cyber, medicine, food tech, security. And what the incubators do is what the incubator does to a newborn. It nourishes by engineering, market search, design, etc. And it follows you from the idea, prototype, beta version, up to the first clinical trials. They cover the bench trials, and the numbers that you get, if you have an idea from the incubator, are numbered, and some of the companies enter even a third year. But they take 50% of the company. But this is only half of the story, because there is something special about Israelis. Visitors, we are not rude. We are just taking informality to the extreme. We are very skeptical. We are always asking, always challenging. Organization hierarchy, as we know it elsewhere, is a mere recommendation in Israel. And we have plenty of what is called the chutzpah factor. And I hope that it translates, everyone understand what that stands for. Out of the box thinking? No, we simply break the box. But all these factors which make living in Israel somewhat challenging are basically essential for fast-track innovation and for the birth of an idea. Every idea is standing on a triangle, or every company. There's the medical need, the market size, and the available technology. Don't bother yourself on patents. That's a specialty called the expert in. Now, just to tell you that I'm not speaking from an academic point of view, all these companies I was involved in, and as you see, almost all of them failed. So I want to share with you, in contrast to all the brilliant people who spoke before me and about the success, I want to share with you my failures. So let's start with the first one. These are two companies that I do miss because they made me a better endoscopist. The reason they failed should be discussed in an economical course and not in a medical one. One was fused that instead of having one camera, it had three. It enhanced my field of view. And the other one was this plastic cap that I put on top of the scope, and it pleated the colon and allowed me to see much better. I love them, I miss them, but we don't have them anymore, part of a failure. Now, I do endoscopy, and I did a screening colonoscopy on that lady, very nice lady, and I perforated the colon. Wow. Screening colonoscopy, healthy. I made a mistake. I took a turn in the wrong way, perforation. Try to close it as good as we know with clipping and devices, in vain, so you call for help. And you call for help to my surgical colleagues, and the patient is ushered to the waiting area before the operating theater, but as real life goes, urgent cesarean section, afterwards a road accident, hip fracture, which is a quality meter, so he must be in front of the lady with perforation, and she was operated on 8 hours after the perforation. And the surgeon said the area was contaminated, and instead of doing primary closure, putting a few sutures, and 2 days afterwards the lady home, she got home like that with colostomy. Now that sends you for quite a few nights without sleep. How can it be solved? Well, if I exclude the perforation, so no leak, there will be no problem. Postponing the operation will not result in a colostomy. So I invented a balloon that I can put endoscopically in place, and like an umbrella, shielding the perforated area from getting contaminated. And I produced a prototype and then approached some prominent key opinion leaders in the field of endoscopy. One of them said, I love it. When it's ready, I want 2. Another one said, no, it's not so good because it can harm because of bacterial translocation. And another one, a very practical one, said, it can be so effective that our patients will be delayed in the queue in the operating room. And the finance man told me, there's no market. How often do you perforate it? 1 in 3,000. There's no market. It's a super niche product. I don't want to invest in it. And I presented this idea in one of the meetings, and I was approached afterwards by a clever guy. Afterwards, I learned that he's a VP for commerce in one of the large companies. And he told me, maybe you're an okay doctor, but commercially you're a disaster. I said, okay, thank you for the compliment. He said, do you have a reserve tire in your car? Yes. How often do you use it? 1 in 2 or 3 years, I have a flat tire, but you still buy it. So when thinking, don't think about using, think about marketing, think about buying. But this meeting is about the future of the health matrix. Foreseeing is very difficult, especially concerning the future. But I know one thing, hospital as we see it will change. Patients don't like to be hospitalized. They see the hospital as an ominous place, so it must be changed. Invasive procedures will be replaced by minimally invasive. Rectal lesions that once used to be treated by abdominoperineal resection with permanent colostomy. And then it was replaced by a milder operation, but still substantial, low abdominal resection. Some of the lesions right now are being treated endoscopically because we've learned to treat what we call the third space. We know how to work on the wall of the digestive tract. Echalagia, same thing. Nowadays, it is done effectively, endoscopically. So we are taking into the third space. Surgery, like bariatric surgery, will be replaced by potent drugs that Professor Dicker just mentioned, and by potent endoscopy. So we'll see less than those very common procedures. And the more we will learn about the scientific basis of the disease we are treating, for instance, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, we'll have targeted treatments that will change the course of the disease. Once, every Crohn patient was expected to have a major surgery during the lifespan. Biological changed it. But the major change that I foresee is that triangle, medical need, technology, and market, the medical need will be changed and will be dictated by the patients. It's going to be a patient's world. Thank you so much.